The Rape of the Lock. The Rape of the Lock by Alexander Poe. It's a real story, and it is based on the two real characters, Lord Peter and Arabella Fermor. What happened? Lord Peter cut the lock of Arabella Fermor, and this little tiny petty issue created a tussle between the two, and this tussle tear apart the two families. The two families were torn apart, and John Carroll, a common friend of two, Alexander Poe and Lord Peter, he persuaded or invoked Alexander Poe to write on this absurd event. So basically, epic is written on love, war, or faith. These three are the themes onto which epic is written, like holy wars, and on the matter of faith, like Milton has written Lost Paradise, in which the two issues, faith and war, was eluded, and the famous novel The Troy, in which love is eluded, and The Face of Helen, which launched 1,000 ships. So these are the matters, but it's a mock epic which is written on a parody written on the lock. Snipping the lock aroused the whole issue. Why mock epic style was used to tell epic is not being taken seriously for mentioned subject, because epic is considered most lofty subject, like in Urdu ghazal. Ghazal is considered the most lofty subject of expression. In English, the epic is considered the loftiest subject of expression, which was not being taken seriously. It depicts the battles have been transformed into flirtatious tiffs. Roman gods have been converted into ineffectual sprites. Armor, weapons, and instead of wearing armor or weapons, the protagonist is adorned with cosmetics, clothing, and jewelry. Instead of religious sacrifice, the dressing room has become that place. So poem is composed of 794 lines, 5 sections or cantos. Setting is in London for a single day. Canto 1, it takes place in London, residence of Belinda. Canto 2, journey of Belinda to a gala, social event. Canto 3, Hampton Court Palace. So Belinda is the protagonist. She is a wealthy and a beautiful girl, travels to Hampton Court for a day of socializing and leisure. The third character is Ariel. Ariel is actually Belinda's guardian. Ariel is a super guard of sylphs. Sylphs are supernatural creatures, and he is tasked to protect the beauty and chastity of Belinda. The Baron, the third character, is antagonist, snips off the lock on the account of his infatuation, because he is sexually attracted by Belinda. Thalestris, the friend of Belinda, laments the lox with her. Ambriel, a gnome who delights in wreaking havoc, he descends to the cave of spleen to collect sighs, sobs, and passions. The queen of spleen, and actually it's a personification of the concept of spleen itself. Whenever in Greek mythology the difficulty happens in difficult situations, we the people goes towards the goddesses. So Queen of Spleen is actually the goddesses of hysteria, melancholy, and bodily dysfunction on women. Another character is Clarissa. Clarissa lends the Baron her scissors, and from scissors, what Baron does, he chop off Belinda's lock of hair. So these all are the major characters in the rape of the lock. So, epic starts with climax, the action in which has been quoted earlier in the very first verses. Beginning and ending has been disclosed later. The climax has been told. So, we were discussing that action has been happened. So, muse actually it starts with a muse. In epic, the muse is written for an imaginary, inspiring creature like god and goddesses. That it is basically an invocation that god and goddesses has invoked that person to write the epic. Soul the sun peers at 12. Lapdog shakes to wake. Bell rings. So this is all the protocol in which it is telling that the lovers remains awake all the night and they awakes at 12. So the scene start with the dreaming of Belinda, and Ariel was sent to Belinda in her dream, in which Ariel disclosed that something strange would happen with her. These are the text lines. Now lapdogs give themselves the rousing shake, and the sleepless lovers just at 12 away. Sleepless lovers. Thrice rung the bell, the sleeper knocked the ground. So what was Dream about? Dream was about that Ariel is informing Belinda that she is being protected by supernatural creatures, guardians of woman chastity. Ariel sent message. Some dreadful event is going to befall her that day, on the day of gala. So she should beware of man. Warning is also a mock. Why warning and the dream is mock? Like Milton wrote Paradise Lost, epic entails supernatural creatures like in drama of Ertugrul, Ibn Arabi tells him about the upcoming events. So it's something serious, it's being told to the protagonist that this is the danger and you should be aware of that danger. So why it is a mock? Because it's some petty issue, very little or minor issue, and it is being heightened. And the warning is also a mock in this sense that the total event is nothing but absurd. So it's the first canto opening, and first canto is basically consists of five things. Rising of flower at 12, dreaming of young man, and informed by Ariel something dreadful or strange would happen with her, and dressing of Belinda. These four things happened in the section 4. So mock is it's a heroic style, and muse and it takes muse. It includes invocation and a dedication to historical man John Carroll instead of god and goddesses. Like the starting line, what mighty context rise from the trivial things? I sing this verse to Carol, muse eschew. Card games, love of umber, means it is telling the person in this whole play or the people at that time were fond of playing card games and flirtatious tussles. Belinda is not like the Helen of Troy, the face that launched thousands of ships. So, Belinda's dream. Belinda dreams in which sprites are the mimicry of the Greek gods and Roman traditions. Ariel, the character of Ariel, is also used in the Shakespearean play Tempest. And here the Ariel is representing women spirits, and Ariel is telling basically the four types of women spirits. First type of norms, these are moody drama queens. After that, they becomes the norms. Seconds are sylphs. These are flirty, happy girls, and their nature is air. Third, being converted into fire because they are short tempered and moral. And the fourth are names. Wishy-washy means confused. So four elements, earth, air, fire and water, are associated with four creatures, norms, sylphs, salamanders and names. And the women after that, according to the elements, have been converted into such creatures. And Ariel is also informing that she is being guarded by these four creatures, and early in the morning when the bell rung and sun is rising at 12, Belinda is dreaming about a young man who is whispering in her ear, and she is also taking delight in such things. So, what is about means that she is also a sensuous girl because she is attracted towards love and such things. The poet draws the character sketch of this in this initial canto, and this he is telling her joy in glided chariots when alive, and love of Amber. Amber is a fashionable game card and in which 40 cards and 3 players are included. After that survive. For when the fear fall in their pride expire, to their first elements their soul retire. The sprites of fiery termagants in flame, mount up and take a salamander's name, soft yielding mind to water glide away, and sip with nymphs their elemental tea. So these lines are actually telling the four creatures how they have been transformed into gnomes, sylphs, salamanders, and nymphs. So the graver prude sinks downward to a gnome, in search of mischief, still on earth to roam. Pope draws the character sketch of sylphs to represent Belinda. Protection of chastity is another concern of women, and Belinda is guarded by these four types. Sylph is basically an allegory or caricature that women are not socializing according to the morality, social folkways, and norms. and it also representing the battle of vanity from men's side, caricature from women's side, because they are not socializing according to the moral abstractions, and battle of vanity, a rising trend, because competition among young lords to seek the attention of women. So these two, both sides, it's a style, it's a mock. And the self who is representing Belinda tells that these types of women manipulate beauty, how to take advantage of their beauty without compromise. So, first, Cantor describes Belinda portrayal and the type of woman with respect to four supernatural creatures. It also elaborates the ritual of dressing like a soldier is putting on his armor. The verse have been taken, it's a text. The tortoise here and elephant unite. The tortoise here and elephant unite. Transformed to calms, the speckled and the white. The calm is speckled, mean marked with number of spot, and how the calm has been made, it's from tortoise and the elephant. Another thing, the various offerings of the world appear from each she nicely culls with the curious toil. Means with hard work she picks the ring, and there are various types of rings from the world appear. So what is being told that she is adorning herself with puffs, powder and patches, and she is using basically the tortoise and the elephant comb, and the box of beauty came from India, sent from Arabia, and this line is telling how now awful beauty puts on all its arm. It's also a mock. Now awful beauty puts on all its arms. Her flies of pins extend their shining rows, puffs, powders, patches, Bibles, and billy too. Now awful beauty puts on all its arms. The fear each moment rises in her charms, repairs her smiles, awakens every grace, and calls forth all the wonders of her face, and calls forth all the wonders. Means she has adorned herself, like she put on earrings, nose pin, hairpin, and she has made eyebrows, and she has used puffs. Means she has adorned her face like army man or the soldier who is going towards the battle, wearing all the weapons and the armor to make herself appear in the battleground. Like Belinda, she is also adorning, and Antoto is basically a sea voyage, like a warrior who is going to battle and who is going to travel. It is also representing the characteristic of Greek epic when army men Lord set off after a lot of preparation. Also Pope alludes beauty, like the beauty is in this line, sparkling cross she wore on her white breast, quick eyes, lively look, ivory neck. Beren admires her beauty. She also gives a happy look, not to Beren but every man in the ship. In this voyage, Belinda forgets a dream. Everyone is carefree except Ariel, who summons an army of sylphs to protect Belinda. So Brillante is protecting the earring, Momentilla is protecting the watch, Crispissa is protecting the lock of hair, and Ariel himself is protecting the laptop shop. So 50 sylphs also guarded all the petticoat dress. British monarchs to keep watch over ladies' powerful powders, perfumes, curls, and clothing and inspire their ears. Means it's also representing British lords because they want to allure the beautiful women. Warning. The Ariel gives warning to self that if they ignore or neglect the duty, they will be highly punished. Canto 3 Description of Heroic Deed. Belinda plays a card game Amber. First Baron was going to win the game. Later, Belinda plays cautiously and recovers in the last trick. The curly vapors of coffee invokes Baron to snips off the lock of hair of Belinda. In this way, the Clarissa who aided the Baron provides scissors to Lord Baron. Baron tries 3 times, but the sylphs who were guarding intervened. A daring sylph jumps in between the blades and is cut into 2. But being supernatural creature, she is quickly restored. Ariel gains access to her brain and is surprised that an earthly lover lurking at her heart. He gives up protecting her because she secretly wants to be violated. Pope is suggesting that the energy and the passion once applied to brave and serious purpose is now expended on such trivial things. Canto 4, in which because self has disappointed and because they were not able to perform their duty. So Belinda was also resented, enraged, and was also anxious. So Nom went to means the Nom name is Umbriel. He flies down to the cave of spleen, where the queen of spleen, and spleen represents ill-tempered queen of migraine or headache. And he asked queen to give the bag of screams, cries, sobs, full of fear and grief, sorrows, which he has transformed into Belinda's heart. Thalestis, she is the friend of Belinda who asked Sir Plume to give or deliver speech to make Baron realize what he had done with Belinda. But Sir Plume gives a very weaker speech and it did not make Baron realize. Thalestis then herself scolded Baron, but he did not realize it. Then Belinda cries, shouts, and in return Baron shouts out his victory that he had won. Canto 5, in which Clarissa, the friend of Baron who had aided the Lord Baron in providing the scissors, waves her fan and delivered the speech, where she also gave the speech on humor, that humor is very much important. She wanted to minimize the beauty and she also played a card of Belinda's anger that she should be humorous because it's also an ornament of the woman. Instead of emphasizing on physical beauty, Clarissa emphasized on humor that it should be ignored by Belinda what Baron had done with her. So Belinda and Thalestris did not ponder, and they started attacking Baron and his friends. Like Belinda uses belts, and she also pinch of snuff in his nose, and Baron started sneezing. Then she used belt, buckles, pins in order to attack her. It's also a move. At the time that Greek heroes they used sword, arrows, bows, and shields in order to fight in the battleground, whereas Belinda is using belt, buckles, pins, and other things in order to battle. So it's a very much satirical epic. Baron is not afraid to die, he is afraid of losing Belinda. Locke was gone missing, and the narrator told its reader that it had become the star on the sky. The only person saw it was the narrator, the poet.